Mr. Donald McDonald, I need help.
Yes?
There you are.
Yes, what do you want?
I need help. Can you explain me what the digestive system is? Can we also do some labs?
It's getting quite late. Stay back, stay back. This is my magic lab. You say nothing to anyone, okay? Ready?
Nothing happened. It looks the same.
It's magical, okay?
Okay, I'll be quiet. Can we start now?
Before we start, let me ask you a couple of questions. How long do you think your digestive system is, and do you think it helps the digestion? What is the longest section of the digestive system, and what important process do you think happens to the food in this section?
It's long because we need to slowly digest our food. It helps the digestion because you can absorb more nutrients when it goes slower. The longest part of the digestive system is the small intestine, and I think the job is to absorb nutrients and minerals from food.
Good, we will start now. So the digestive system starts at your mouth. When you swallow, the food goes down your throat.
It's esophagus.
Look, do you want to switch roles? Okay, so when it goes down your esophagus, the muscles in your esophagus pushes it down to your stomach. The motion is called peristalsis.
Wait, I have a question. How long does it take to digest the food?
So it would take about 6 to 8 hours.
Thanks.
Are you going to ask me any more questions?
Maybe.
Fine, let's get back into it. So when it goes down your stomach, mixes it, breaks it down, and then passes it onto the small intestine into small portions. The digestion happening in your stomach is called chemical digestion. Quick question, what does the hydrochloric acid do?
The presence of HCl in the body of the stomach causes the activation of enzymes. One of the proteins in HCl is used to convert the enzyme pepsinogen into pepsin. Pepsin breaks up the peptides in the protein.
Wow, okay, let's continue. So when the food goes into your small intestine, it absorbs the nutrients. The small intestine does 90% of the digesting. The small intestine is about 77% of the digestive system. After that, it goes into your big intestine.
It's large intestine.
Really? Okay, whatever. The consistency of the food is now chyme, which is like a smoothie. Ions and nutrients released by the gut bacteria and dissolved in water are also absorbed in the large intestine and used by the body for metabolism. Then it gets stored in your rectum, and when it's time, it releases the feces out of your anus.
Wow, I never knew the digestive system was that complicated. I always thought you eat something and then it magically becomes poop.
Well, now you know, okay? I'm going to ask you a few questions. Give me the answer. Why do animals have different digestive systems, and why can some animals live with only eating one thing?
Animals eat different things than humans because their digestive systems are made so they can only eat a specific food. For example, dogs are scavengers, so they eat dead meat. In the dead meat, there are bacteria, so the faster you digest, the less bacteria will be absorbed.
Very good. Here are more questions. Why are some things very high in calories and some things very low in calories? Why does the number of calories correlate to how healthy / nutrients the food is?
Some things are high in calorie and low in calories because the carbohydrates in them determine how many calories they have. So if something is high in calories, then they have a lot of carbohydrates. So if something is low in calorie, then it doesn't have that much carbohydrates. If something is too high in calories, then you will get fat and it won't be balanced in nutrients. If you take too low calories, then you won't have enough energy for the day.
Okay, last two questions. How many calories do you think you need every day, and why do some people need more and less than others?
For women, you need about 2,000 calories a day, and for men, you need about 2,500 calories a day. Some people need more or less than others because the older you get, the less calories you use and the less you will take in.
Great. Do you have any questions?
Yes. The other parts of the digestive system that doesn't get the food, such as the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. What functions do they have?
With the help of vitamin K, the liver produces proteins that are important in blood clotting. It is also one of the organs that break down old or damaged blood cells. The liver plays a central role in metabolic process in the body. In fat metabolism, the liver cells break down fats and produce energy.
What about a gallbladder?
So, enzymes or digestive juices produced by the pancreas are secreted into small intestines to further break down the food after it has left the stomach. The glands also produces the hormone insulin and secretes into the bloodstream in order to regulate the body glucose or sugar level.
And the pancreas?
It's mainly a storage organ that helps in the digestion of fat and helps to make bile concentrated to increase its effort on fat cells.
Okay, last question. What was that?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, can you survive without any of the digestive system we learned today?
Of course not. If you don't have a stomach, you can't break down the food. If you don't have a small intestine, you won't be able to absorb the nutrients. If you don't have an esophagus, then you can't transfer the food to your stomach, and so far for the rest.
Okay, can we do labs now?
Fine, we will start with how to measure your digestive system. So digestion starts in your mouth. So you take a piece of white yarn, you measure the front of your mouth to your jaw, to the back of your jaw. So then you record it in centimeters and you put it in your data. So the esophagus is a tube which connects your mouth to your lower rib cage. So you start off with a pink yarn, start off with the jaw, go to the lower rib cage. Then you record it in centimeters. Then you will record it in your paper or your data. Then you will tie the esophagus yarn to the mouth yarn. So to find the length of your stomach, you have to spread your fingers out like this. Then you measure it in centimeters. Then you'll put it in your table. Then you'll have to tape it onto the esophagus yarn and the mouth yarn. So the small intestine is one of the largest parts of the digestive system. It is folded up so it can fit in. To obtain the approximate length of the small intestine, you need to obtain your height and times it by 4, which we have Bob here who is 140. So we times that by 4 and we will get 560. So then you will use your yellow yarn to measure it. Then you'll put it in your table, and then you will stick it to your other yarns. At last, we have the large intestine. It is much more wide than the small intestine, but much shorter. It is about the same size as you. So all of the undigested materials, it goes down to the large intestine before leaving the body. So this purple yarn represents the large intestine, and to measure it, you measure Bob. So then you finally add it all up together to see how long your digestive system is.
Wow, that's very interesting. Can we move on to the next lab?
Yeah, sure.
Can I do the next one? Now I will simulate the digestive system. So the quart Ziploc bag represents your mouth. Now I will simulate the digestive system. So the quart Ziploc bag represents your mouth. Put 25 grams of cornflakes in it and add 30 milliliters of water to represent the saliva. Close the bag tightly and crush for 20 seconds. The straw represents your esophagus. Try to pass the cornflake mixture through the straw's esophagus by cutting a small hole in one of the corners of the bag and squeezing the mixture through the straw. Hold a Ziploc bag under the straw to catch anything that comes out.
"2,000 years later. 6.5 hours later. 1 eternity later."
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
So this Ziploc bag represents your stomach. Add 250 milliliters of water to the bag, representing the gastric juice in your stomach. Close the bag tightly and swish around for 2 minutes. The paper towel roll represents your small intestine. Hold it at a 45-degree angle above the plastic cup. Pour your cornflake mixture from the Ziploc bag into the top end of the roll. The small intestine has some interesting features, which makes it highly specialized for maximizing nutrients absorption. Although our paper towel roll intestine has smooth walls, your real small intestine has many folds, big folds that you can see, and tiny folds that are only visible under the microscope. Let's calculate the surface area of the small intestine. The formula we will use is 2 times pi times radius times length. Let's simplify pi with 3, and the radius is 2. So now the equation is 2 times 3 times 2 times length. So use the length from the previous lab. So the surface area right now would be 9,120 centimeters. The large fold increased the surface area by 3 times. So it would now be 27,360 centimeters. The microscopic fold called villi increases the surface area by another 3. Your surface area would be 82,080. The pantyhose represents your large intestine. Pour the cornflake mixture that you collected in your cup in. The pantyhose represents your large intestine. Pour the cornflake mixture that you collected in your cup through the pantyhose on the open end. Make sure that you are holding the pantyhose over the plastic cup. Squeeze the cornflake mixture part of the way through the pantyhose. Continue squeezing, trying to get as much liquid out as possible. Cut a small hole representing the anus and rectum to release the cornflake mixture. Now that's how the digestive system works. Bye, Mr. Donald McDonald.
Bye. See you later. See you later.